Welcome to Beyond Education, the podcast where we explore the fascinating connection between knowing yourself and learning effectively. I'm Monica, and in these bite-sized episodes, we take a fresh look at learning, not just as a skill, but as a way of seeing the world.
Let's take a little trip back in time. Picture yourself as a kid, standing over a bike that feels way too big for you. You grip the handlebars, you push off, and within seconds, boom, you're on the ground. Maybe you scrape your knee. Maybe you decide for a solid minute that biking is not for you. But you get up, you try again, you adjust. Maybe you lean a little differently. Maybe you realize keeping your eyes on the ground isn't actually helping. And at some point, without even realizing it, you're riding. No one ever mastered biking by reading Cycling for Dummies. You learned by doing, by falling, by figuring out what didn't work, by making tiny corrections. And that right there, that's a feedback loop. It's not just how we learn to ride bikes, it's how we learn everything, from cooking to problem solving to improving our work. The crazy part? You're already using feedback loops. We all are. Every time you try something, get a result, adjust, and try again, you're in the cycle. But here's where things go sideways. Most of us don't use feedback loops intentionally. Sometimes we ignore feedback entirely and keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, which, by the way, is also the definition of insanity. Other times, we take feedback personally, like it's some sort of attack rather than a tool. And sometimes we avoid feedback altogether because, well, let's be honest, it's uncomfortable. But the people who actually master learning, they do one simple thing differently. They pay attention. Imagine you're working on a big presentation. You spend hours on it. You deliver it. And the response? Meh. Maybe your manager says, "Good job, but I'd like to see more structure." Now here's the moment where most of us mess up. We either 1. Brush off the feedback and think, they just didn't get it. 2. Take it way too personally. I'm terrible at this. I should just quit now. 3rd, or we obsess over it but don't actually use it. But what if instead you treated it like an experiment? What if you paused and thought, okay, what exactly was missing? How could I make my next presentation clearer? What if, instead of just moving on, you took 5 minutes to tweak your approach? That's the shift. That's where learning actually happens. Here's what I've noticed. The best learners, the ones who actually improve, do 3 things. First, they notice the feedback that's already happening around them. Not just what their boss or coach says, but everything. The way people react, the moments where things feel smooth versus when they feel stuck. Feedback is everywhere if you pay attention. Second, they separate emotion from data. They don't get defensive. They don't let a single piece of feedback define them. They treat it like GPS. Oh, there's a roadblock here. Cool, let's try another way. And third, they adjust and try again. They don't just hear feedback, they actually use it. Tiny changes, small tweaks. Over time, that's what leads to massive progress. This isn't just about learning hobbies or skills, it's everything. Think about work. The people who grow the fastest, they're the ones who take feedback seriously, but not personally. The ones who say, okay, this wasn't perfect. What can I do differently next time? Think about relationships. Ever had a conversation where you walked away thinking, wow, that didn't go how I expected? That's feedback. The way someone responds, the energy in the room, it's all information. And if you lead a team or mentor others, feedback is the greatest gift you can give someone. Not just pointing out mistakes, but helping them see the next step, guiding them toward growth. Are you using your feedback loops? Right now, you're already in one. The question is, are you guiding it, or is it just happening to you? So, here's my challenge for you. Pick one area where you want to improve, just one. And for the next week, start noticing the feedback that's already around you. Don't ignore it. Don't overreact to it. Just observe it. And then, adjust. Try again. Because learning isn't about getting it right the first time. It's about making each time better than the last. That's it for today's bite-sized deep dive on Beyond Education Trademark. If this sparked something for you, share it with a friend who might need a reminder that feedback isn't failure, it's the key to growth. And if you want more insights like this, make sure to follow the podcast. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and make those feedback loops work for you.